This is logical MGTOW. This one, I thought I'd stop doing basic, if you want, what many MGTOW members would call rants. This is not a rant. This is a clarification to Miss Ordinary Snowflake. I watched your video pertaining to MGTOW men. Now, you have many disillusioned thoughts when it comes to the men going their own way and the feminist and Me Too movements. You may know fully about the feminist and Me Too movements, but the feminist and Me Too movements haven't done you women any better. And besides, before I became MGTOW, I was doing better already, single. Yes, I married one time. She didn't take me for everything I had in divorce. We we got along and everything, right? Before I became MGTOW, right? And she didn't go to the points of trying to make my life a living hell. Yes, there are moments, even in dating situations, that you women have made our life a living hell. Yes, there are reasons and circumstances that and or what have you else, and of the fact that many men have made your life a living hell. I'm sure. Believe me, I was raised by women. Okay, ordinary snowflake. I was raised by women. I know the two-sided things here. Okay, one is, and you may not believe this, and I don't really give a damn, really, but I know the male and female psyche. With that, I know psychology. You think that women are always right about every little thing, but men are wrong when it comes, especially about being having certain various thoughts. We don't all have the same thoughts when it comes to women. Yes, we've had our own bad experiences with women, especially those who rather step on us instead of give us a chance, even in our youth. But that doesn't make the woman any better now, does it? That doesn't make the woman any higher in importance or anything else for that matter. Ordinary snowflake, you have a very misguided and distorted view of the MGTOW philosophy, and it's not a movement. It's not a movement like the fucking Me Too movement and the fucking feminist movement. Do you realize I was born around the time that the E.R.A., the Equal Rights Amendment, not the amendment bill, but the Equal Rights Amendment feminist group. Yes, there was a feminist group from 1972 to 1978. I was a part of that era. I was growing up in that era. From the time that I was born, and I'm not going to mention the year, because that's my right. As a humanitarian advocate, I have that right. Even as an American citizen, I have that right. With the fact, I stand by that. And that's why I have that flag right there. To show you that I do care about this country, for one. But here's the one thing. As I was saying, the E.R.A. marched and protested from 1972 to 1978, ordinary snowflake. And by 79 to 1980, women were able to work, make their own money. And if they got married, cool. If they didn't, well, they had their own ways of surviving, right? Now, as a humanitarian as I am, I was a humanitarian before I became a humanitarian advocate. I worked in retail. I was a humanitarian then. I was I was raised and taught to help people any way I can, in which way I saw comfortable and whatnot. But one thing, though, many people can take advantage of that, and you know that. Women have been able to take advantage of a guy's niceness as well for their own selfish, bullshit, sinful benefit. When I mention sinful, ordinary snowflake, the basic fact is, you women think, oh, he's never around. So I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go out with my friends and fuck around with another dude, because I think that's what he's doing while he's spending all his time out. When really he could be working his ass off, working a late shift and longer than he expected the fucking first time. But no, that doesn't register in the female mind now, does it? It's always a negative assumption after negative assumption, negative thought after negative thought after negative thought, judgment after judgment after judgment. But when we do it, oh, we're chauvinistic, we're pigs, we're this and that and that. You don't like being judged, and you women don't like being judged and negatively assumed on and about, even though it's the fucking fact and truth since the 1990s and late 80s. Then don't do it to us. You've been doing it to us even in the 1980s, 70s, 60s, and 50s, and even beyond that. And yes, there was a women's movement in the 1920s and 30s, and even even before the era of the 1970s. It didn't go very far for various different reasons. But the one thing is, as a man, we have love. We can love. But the one thing is, when we do, and when we have even since the 1990s, we're taken advantage of. We're either taken advantage of in the sense of how much we spend on you women, on dates and various other things, right? And outings, other outings and trips and shit like that, right? And many other aspects to it. And even by the jewelers, we're expected to think that, oh, if you don't get this for your woman, then you're a weak chump. There's many other aspects to it. What's voiced by Stephen Hyde on That 70s Show, and you know that show. Everybody knows that show by now. The base of Valentine's Day is also orchestrated in the same aspect when it comes to, if you don't do this for your woman, then she chose you to be, basically she chose wrong, essentially. Judgment by that aspect is a sin. And yes, I'm a strong spiritual man, ordinary snowflake. Even before I became part of any church, and I'm not going to say if I am truly part of a church, but with the fact that I just mentioned, even before I did become a part of a church, and I'm not going to mention the church, the basic fact is that I've always believed in Heavenly Father and our Savior. Even when shit went downhill for me, I still believed in, and I still do even to this day. Even when shit went downhill, even after I went in, when many things went downhill, especially in relationships for me, right? I still believe it. But the basic fact is, you women think that men don't have a right to go their own way. They should be subservient to you women, to be nearly penniless. So where all you women give a damn about is us spending money exuberant amounts instead of being realistic and logical about it. And if you truly love us, then guess what? It shouldn't be about the money. But for most of you women, and I'm sure it's you as well, and even though I know women say it's not, oh, that's not me, it's them. You know how many fucking times we men have heard that shit, and then later on when we date or even associate ourselves with a woman, we find out later on down the line that that was a load of shit. We find out otherwise. There's also aspects to where women only date us men till they find something or someone better. You know that's also a spiritual sin. Ordinary snowflake. Be that you're riding the dude until you find something or someone better. That's a sin. That's a mortal spiritual sin. So is going against the Bible when you're in a relationship, in the sense of cheating on your man that you're supposedly with, that you claim to love, that you claim to really like and love and are happy that you and he met. The basic fact is, you women are expecting things in the fairy tale land. Yes, I know that you women from the age between, I'd say, four, if not three, between three and four, and on up, you do the base of dress up. Okay, I know. Then you imagine your wedding when you get old, when you find the man and all this other shit, right? But the one thing you do not you don't do the imagination play act in, is if the guy what you doesn't give you what you want, what you expect, right then and there. As it's said, and it's said in many shows, that if we men don't give you what you want when you want, you're you're it was like exit stage right or stage left, as Snagglepuss says on one of the cartoons in the 1970s and 60s. So basically, it's not really the fact that we have no way to love. We can love. We men can love. We men can cherish things. You women claim to love and cherish, but you don't. You're incapable of doing so. If you were if you women were capable of doing so, outside the basic motherhood especially, or equal to the basic motherhood, while in a relationship or marriage, the divorce rate in this country wouldn't be as high as it has been and is going every year, every month, every week, because of the the feminazi, high expectation, so-called phony, fake-ass entitlement levels. And also, I should say, also sinful entitlement levels. Unrealistic ones that you may not see unrealistic because you're a woman, for one. And you want to generalize us men, I can generalize you even harder. Ordinary snowflake, you are generalizing us men. You are judging us men. You're putting various numbers of sinful accusations towards us men. So basically, guess what? You are being taught a lesson in many ways. And like I said, in the text, on the comment section of that one video that I saw of you, I'm willing to talk with you on either Messenger, via video or video chat with you on G Plus Hangout. And I'll tell you this straight out. And I know, and I can use psychological terms too. Or I can use something that you would have an easy way of understanding. Or is it the fact that you would understand the psychological terms and whatnot because you women think you're smarter than you really are? Because nobody is really smarter than either gender or either person despite the regardless of the gender. We all have our own levels of experiences in many things we have done and are doing, and same thing in the base of knowledge. It is said that we all experience new things, therefore we become knowledgeable of those particular things to know if we have to do better or if we can do better. And I know we can do better in many different things with many different reasons. I'm not an optimist, but I know I'm a believer in many positive things. But the one thing is that you women have caused many things. You women have caused men to go to the points of suicide. Yes, I know women commit suicide too because of various reasons, be that bullying from their uh, shall we say peers in high school or college or whatever. Um, but it's not very well heard or much noticed or even heard of anyway that women kill themselves because a bad marriage or a bad divorce. Because you women have gotten the marriage aspect as if it's a business, and yet if you watch my um, extensive logic video of logical MGTOW, you'll hear that aspect of it as well, among other things. I've got many videos to teach you, ordinary snowflake. The basic fact is that I, a man, am a man of logic, reality, sensibility, truth, and I defend those who I know need defending. We men don't need defending; we can defend ourselves. But it doesn't hurt to have people to support you. You women have the feminist and Me Too movements, basically, which is not really doing anything beneficial for you, women at all. And yet, you want us men to just be subservient and give you all the shit that you can muster and think of, essentially. And who gives a shit about if the guy has any hopes and dreams and wants and needs for himself? You may deny that all you want, but it's been proven more and more on your side of the gender, ordinary snowflake. You want to generalize and judge and negatively make assumptions of the MGTOW manosphere, what you call the movement, which it's not a movement. You want to sinful assume and negatively generalize and judge us men for going our own way, not wanting to marry when that's one of the objectives of women is to get married. But here's the thing: when it comes to marriage, you women, like I said, have made marriage a business that benefits you. You've made it to where the you women have made it to where the court system sides with you, even when women bullshit their way through by saying, I won't be able to make it unless I have his income to help me out to even to take care of our child or children. And yet you could be making more than the dude, or maybe moderately about the same. But here's the thing, though, too. You guys, you women, automatically assume we're not going to help. That we're not going to help in the sense of raising the child. But here's the other thing, though, too. A good percentage of you women, ordinary snowflake, have used the child support to benefit you first, and then the child last, as if you come first before the child, as it was before the child was even brought into the world. And here's another thing that's sinful. You women have put upon us men, a number of us men, that you claim it's our child when we find out later it's not. Being that you committed a fucking mortal spiritual sin in the sense of adultery / cheating. You women have been to the points of majorly emotional, psychological indecisiveness and indecision from teenage, from preteen on through. It's a never ending fucking train path. That fucking locomotive has been speeding down the fucking base of indecisive railroad tracks from the time that you were able to hit, even before you even hit puberty and maturity, if you want to really call yourself mature at all. I'm not hateful, if that's what you think. I'm just telling you straight out the fucking truth. Women think that they can do no wrong, but us men, oh yeah, we'll do wrong left and right according in accordance to what the way women think. So let's see, if women can't do no wrong, then let's see, going behind a guy's back and getting done by another guy is not wrong, right? Even if you are in a relationship, serious or not, with another guy, or even if you're in a marriage with another guy, which basically goes against your vows, and it goes against God in many ways, and it goes against the Bible in another way, and also in the base of sexual promiscuity also goes against the Bible in the sense of thou shalt not covet thy neighbor. In your case, thy neighbor's husband. And thy neighbor's husband can. It doesn't mean it doesn't have to be your next door neighbor or anybody within your fucking area. It could be anybody within any distance. It doesn't matter if it's in a different state or what. You women think that you're blameless about every little thing that you do wrong, and yet you try to point the finger at us men as if we're the cause, when we're really not. You women accuse us of doing something we're not. Like, for example, I saw the video, and the woman that this dude was married to in this one video accused her husband of looking at some other chick that all he did was pick up something that she dropped and gave it to her as a nice person. She assumed that it was the fact that he was looking at her in some sort of promiscuous way when he wasn't. Or as if he was trying to flirt with her in various other ways. You women always do that type of shit to us. But yet when you do it to right in front of us, oh no, no, no. No, that's not what happened, honey. But when we do something, oh, you were doing this, you were doing that. Accuse, judge, judge, judge. Assume, assume, assume. Negatively, sinfully assume. I'm right and you're wrong. You're in the wrong and I'm always in the right. You know this to be true. I don't care how much you deny that shit. I don't really give a damn. If you want to be sympathetic, but both sides. You're not that sympathetic as much as you claim. Ordinary snowflake. The basic fact is that you would be able to, a woman would be able to have the most faithful person outside of being where both sides are reasonable to where she doesn't expect him to buy her a whole lot of extravagant shit on only on various occasions, and she doesn't cheat on him. She doesn't do anything else, right? Which is very rare nowadays, especially in the millennium. And everything's peachy. Everything's on the up and up. If she really trusts him, then she has no reason to negatively assume, negatively judge, negatively make up bullshit things like, you know, or like on the program Cheaters. None of that shit would happen, but yet, more often than not, I've seen more and more women cheat on us men than we have cheated on you women. And in fact, in the the 1980s, the late 80s, you women have started cheating on us more than we men cheated on you women. And yet you want to still claim that our ways of thinking is wrong. We don't all have the same ways, levels, and wavelengths of thinking. Yes, we don't want to deal with you feminist bitches anymore because you go to the points of childish aspects. Like, if you don't get what you want, you rant, rave, bitch, moan like a little fucking 2-year-old. But yet, when a 2-year-old, when an actual small child does it, it's to be expected. It's accepted. They're learning. But when an adult does that type of attitude, forget it. But yet you expect to get away with it. You women expect to get away with it. Ordinary snowflake. In all general aspects, there's more wrong that you women have done more than us men. When we find out that you cheated on us and you promise that you won't do it again and you don't, we leave it alone. When when we cheat on you, you keep it within yourself, agonize over it, and then try to use various things, even in arguments, against us with it, and even as you add it. Therefore, it's not forgotten. Yes, it's not forgotten with us either, but we don't use that against you. Although our man, maybe a number of us do, but the ones that don't, there's ones that don't, right? And even if we lost our job and are about to get a new one, you still leave us. And the other thing is, though, too, is that when it comes to finding something better, as I mentioned earlier, that's not only a sin, and you are judged for it, for that action, as well as you are judged for lying and doing us wrong and everything else, right? As well as we are on the same level, right? Spiritually, and yet we will be judged for that. We will be judged for those actions and more when our time is up on this planet, ordinary snowflake. So therefore, guess what? We're all guilty, not just the one side. The woman's side is guilty. There's more guilt on the female side nowadays than there has ever been in this country's history, in this globe's history. You want to know more? Believe me, there's a lot of logic I can tell you. There's a lot of sensibility I can tell you. There's a lot of other things I can tell you that you will just generalize even more, I'm sure, and make it look like, oh, men are wrong, men shouldn't do this or men shouldn't do that, right? Women do that left and right, even if they say they won't. Women have done many things that are negative and sinful that they have said that they would never do, but yet they end up doing it eventually. There's a big difference. When we say we won't do it again, more often than not, we don't. When you women say you won't do it again, there's more of a percentage of a chance that you do, and way less of a percentage than of when you actually will not. Like I said, ordinary snowflake. I know psychology, and I know the male and female psyche. And with that, I helped a person through his divorce situation many years ago because of his cheating little slut of a wife. His psychologist, his marriage psychologist therapist said I was right on the fucking button. Not exactly in those words, but he said I wasn't wrong. I wasn't there when he said that to him, but he told me exactly what he said. The next time we talked on Yahoo Messenger, thereby I can tell you straight up, you women want to be treated and accepted. You want to be treated as equals and accepted as equals, right? Yet you have done us wrong left and right, up and down, every which way that you think you can get away with. And yet daddy government lets you guys get away with it while taking our resources and a good percentage of our income. And even if we did have children, a child or children with you, you use most of it for yourselves and a moderate to less of it for the child or children. And you think that's acceptable? You think that's a very caring parent? No, it's not. And there's also been cases to where women have gone to the points of divorce and they get custody of the child for various different reasons. It doesn't always have to be with income or job or whatever the hell else. Some way or another, daddy government gives the woman custody of the children or child or Then what happened a number of years ago in around the 1990s? The woman goes completely off her rocker mentally and throws the small innocent children right in the fucking ocean. the Pacific Ocean. This was on the news, man. So, ordinary snowflake, you gotta watch what you say about us men because you know damn well you women have done way more wrong than anything. In fact, there's one woman I have sympathy for. Only one. It was on the Tom Likas show. A woman calls frantic, in tears. Yes, she admits that she chose the wrong partner. Who doesn't? Sometimes it's the woman that's the wrong partner for the guy, and sometimes it's the guy that's wrong for the woman, right? But in any case, the woman ends ends up having to rush over to make the phone call to call the Tom Likas show as she heads over to race to go over and get her son. I don't remember exactly what age it was, but he was shall we say elementary school age, possibly, from what I recall anyway. And the child wanted to kill himself, according to what she said. She had him go through many different sessions of to see a psychiatrist, what have you. Even she even attended a number of them. I know for a fact, um, with the child. The excuse was the reason why the child wanted to kill himself is because there was no father figure around. His father was not around. Was that the child's fault? Of course not. Was that the mother's fault? A percentage. Some women blame it because the way they were raised, the type of household, the house surrounding of, the way they were raised, the way they were taught and treated. I'm not saying us men are treated any better, but hey, it as the old saying goes, one, children are not asked and do not ask to be born. Two, we cannot pick our family members. That's a given. Being that we cannot choose the family that we are raised and grow up around and in, for that matter. Just to name it. And you want to talk about as if women are raised better than men are in the surrounding of the way they were raised, as if women are treated better than men are in families circles. No, they're not. I got many numbers of proofs to tell you about easily. I'm not going to mention on this video. I know a number of cases to where your bullshit logic is wrong. You may be learning in your own way. That's understandable. That's okay. I accept that. But you cannot generalize men as if everything we do or our actions are wrong, or even our thought process, whether it be the same or not, which is not. And the reasons why we don't want to do anything with women. But there's one thing you did not mention on your video, ordinary snowflake, and that is simply this: there are many MGTOW men that will not have anything to do with women, not even in the dating last. Not even besides not only not going towards the aspect of marriage either, but they're not even associating themselves with women. Not even going over and talking with women. You could say yes. There are many guys that'll even go to the points of only wanting to go through a check stand where it has only a male, the same gender, right? I can care less which fucking I can care less which fucking check stand I go through. I don't care if it's a male or female, but it does mean I'm going to date a woman. If I so choose, I will. But will I ever marry again? That's only for me to decide. For myself. I don't need to be generalized or judged or negatively assumed by you women at all. Not even you alone. Yes, I know you might say that women are judged. Yeah, guess why? You women have done more than many, actually, yeah, more than many wrong things, and for various fairy tale reasons. In you're using that fairy tale aspect of the Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs and the fucking Cinderella story, and trying to implement it in your own minds into today and even into today's society. Even with as things get tougher and tougher, even economically, you women still do it. And it doesn't matter what type of job that guy has, you still expect that same fairy tale bullshit of where guys get you extravagant items of any different amount, cost, the whole enchilada there. And a number of those things you leave aside for a number of years and the damn thing rusts. And it's never touched or worn again, even as it sits there rusting away. Because you have more of a variety of things to wear and to look all glamorous and shit like that. Then you want to generalize the way things were in the 1950s, 40s, 30s, 20s when it came to men and women, and especially in the marriage as well as relationship situations, as if you know more than you really are saying. I can tell you, yes, people do change. Yes, situations do change. Yes, matters do change over time. But say, for example, if you were in a marriage, and I've seen this happen so many fucking times, it's not funny that it happens more often by women than it does the men, even nowadays. Where if she's not happy due to her indecisiveness and shit like that, right? And indecisions and emotional, psychological bullshit within herself, she tries to find one way or another to blame the guy. And he could be as faithful as a fucking puppy. He could be as devoted as a fucking puppy. But you women turn the other cheek on that aspect of faithfulness and devotion. And many times you think you can get away with it. You women think you can get away with it. And many times, the various times you have, due to daddy government. Even if the guy catches you cheating on him, oh, I can get everything he has. I don't care if he catches me. I'll take him for everything he has. That right there is sinful, by the way, ordinary snowflake. So, to sum it all up on this video, and I'll tell you even more, I'll even explain MGTOW in a step-by-step aspect if you'd like. And I'll tell you what I know of the male-female psyche as well. Because, one, I was raised by women. Two, I know the way you women think, and you think you can get away with it. And get this, though. Women will keep asking, where are all the good men? Really, they are saying, where are all the men that we women can take advantage of and take everything from? It's not really, oh, where all the good men are to where we can spend our lives with any longer. It's not like that ever again with you women. It's all about items and money and wealth and all this other negative, sinful shit that even Heavenly Father and our Savior are even against. Heavenly Father and our Savior put marriage together towards 50-50 for both male as well as female. You women have made it a business to benefit you, women. That's one of many reasons besides many other reasons why I can easily clear up for you. More than something that even things that you may not even have thought of, or even put in any aspect of general logic and thought of. Women are not better than men, and men are not better than women. In many ways, we have done a lot more than you women. That's not our fault. That's the way things just play out. And also, if you ever watch Star Trek The Next Generation, Ordinary Snowflake, I encourage you to. One reason why is because I know many women would want it to be like what's known as the matriarchal society, before the male-dominated society. Several centuries before the male-dominated society ever came to be. And yes, I know many people call this society a gynocentric society, even with it being known as the male-dominated society. It's not gynocentric at all. It's a screwed up society, I can tell you that, but it's not. But it's also known as a male-dominated society. But the one thing is that you women want the matriarchal society, where more there was women that rule that made the laws and rules and shit like that, even with the men in the same society. But you know what made it fall as it did, more than thousands of years ago, if not hundreds of thousands of years ago? What made it fall is the fact that women wanted more power, more control. And the old saying goes, absolute power corrupts absolutely. You women are going towards that direction, even in today's day and age, of being way more than corrupt than the liberal Democrats themselves. So much so that the base of humanity will be no more the longer the longer you women go about it. Which basically means the birth rate is your fault. If it once it's continuously going at a downward spiral. Ordinary snowflake, and I mean it when I say it's your fault. I mean every female gender's fault who goes to the points of thinking that they can get and take advantage of every guy and get a guy to do whatever the fuck they want and whatever the fuck they want to get from the guy they'll get instead of being reasonable and logical and truly loving and caring. Instead of being loving, caring, and genuine and all this other stuff, and loyal, devoted, and faithful, not like a damn dog or anything, but what Heavenly Father wants for both sides of his children, both his sons as well as his daughters. Yes, you're his daughter, and yes, I'm one of many of his sons, spiritually. And do realize this, ordinary snowflake. The more sinful bullshit you women do, even against us men, even when it comes to this, or should I say, when it comes to this, basically money in general, okay? You and every other woman in your same gender as it is will sin heavily, morally as well as spiritually. And who's to say you? And you can never say that you're not even at current. Because he is judging you, women, even while you women do the shit you've been doing on this planet ever since the late 80s and 1990s on through to us men. Instead of being positive and logical, you're being vindictive, selfish, and other negative, sinful shit. And yes, we can be the same way, but guess what though? We have put a particular thing, a particular stop to it at a certain point, right? That you may not know, but you women don't have a level to stop at. All you want is what you want, and that's all you want, and that's all you give a damn about, and that's sinful. I'll talk to you on G Plus Hangout, ordinary snowflake if you'd like. And I can also talk to you on Messenger as well. Facebook Messenger, that is. But do know this. Never generalize. Never assume that you know men when you really don't. And I know you're going to say the same thing about me when it comes to women. But the one thing is, I'm not judging women. I'm not generalizing women. I'm not doing anything like that. Nothing even sinful. I'm stating facts, truths, reality, logic, more than sensibility. The fact of it is that you women have lost all common sense, all levels of reality, because all you want is this, and all you want is a man's wallet, and all you want is items. You know that even a woman herself cannot bring extravagant items no matter what size it is, to heaven with her. So you women need to wake up to reality and realize that aspect, because we men already know that we can't bring our wealth and riches to with us and with us when we're about to be in the next life, even after judgment. But yet you women have lost that aspect of actual sensibility, being that your mental thought process has fallen. Know this. You women want men to go back to the plantation. You women want us men to go back to the points of marrying you. Oh, believe me, there's many, a list of fucking shit of how and what way that would happen. But it's too long of a list, but to say in this video. And no, it doesn't benefit one side being the woman. It benefits both sides, as well as the child or children, if they are ever brought in the picture. So basically, I can still tell you more if you'd like. Just let me know. You can let me know on Facebook, on Logical Psychiatry, Facebook page of mine, or C.R.P.H.A. Humanitarians, or C.R.P.H.A. Citizen Advocate as well. And I'll be more than happy to talk to you on G Plus Hangout Video Chat, Ordinary Snowflake. And I can tell you many things that you have misguided, besides what I already mentioned. This is Logical MGTOW Spot. MGTOW brothers, stay safe, stay strong, stay self-assured, stay alive, free yourself from feminism and the feminist manipulation and many other negative, sinful things that women do and try to get away with. Stay single, MGTOW for life.